wrestling fans, Scott Stevens here with you with another edition of TCW Tonight, brought to you by Collar and Elbow Brand. Fans, for your Christmas shopping, feel free to visit collarandelbowbrand.com. Select some apparel, some wonderful wrestling apparel, support your local wrestlers, and Collar and Elbow Brand stuff, all on collarandelbowbrand.com. Check that stuff out, and when you check out, just put TCW in the coupon box, and you will receive 10% off on your order, your entire order. So what a great deal. collarandelbowbrand.com. Please use TCW in the checkout code box. Now, fans, I first want to start off by apologizing for not having this episode ready for you Sunday night, our normal airtime. But for those of you that weren't at Elkton Middle School in Elkton, Virginia, first off, you missed a great show. But you also missed me get brutally attacked by Joseph Petrov. And fans, I have to say, since that happened, I've had a pretty severe ringing in my head, in my right ear where I got hit. And actually, as of right now, it is a little bit better, enough for me to be able to talk to you and bring you this episode of TCW Tonight. We'll go into more of what happened in that match shortly, and that's what we're going to do tonight, folks, is we're going to recap what happened. I'm going to let you know, from my aspect, I was ringside for all the matches, and wow, fans, what a turnout. We were just so happy to be able to be in Elkton, Virginia, and to bring you the quality of wrestling that you saw there. Fans, let's start off by reminding you the first match. It was B.J. Riker from Sweetwater, Texas versus Court Montgomery, and this match was fun right out of the beginning. These two guys obviously don't care much for each other, and B.J. Riker came to the ring with his Texas flag, and Court Montgomery came to the ring dancing, and that's for sure. And boy, did they put on an incredible match. However, it did end with B.J. Riker pinning Court Montgomery. He got the 1, 2, 3, so B.J. Riker wins that match. The next match was our first sighting of the evening of Ace Dalton and one of his monsters from the Tidewater area, the 757, the Hood. He was there. He comes out with Ace Dalton, and then this young kid, the Unbroken Son from Southern Virginia, from Alta Vista. This guy comes out and has a present for Ace Dalton. I didn't know what was going on there, but he came down and got a bag, took it back in the ring. Fans, it just so happened to be Vienna sausages and hot sauce that you know Ace and I banter about quite a bit, but I don't think Ace took too kindly to it. He first said that he told the Hood that he didn't know he was going to get a present, so to back off. And then he turned around, and man, did he lay the shot heard around the world on James Harris. So Ace Dalton got his smack in, and then the Hood began to pulverize. I'm going to have to give it up for this kid, the Unbroken Son, James Harris. He kicked out a few times while he was getting a beating from the Hood. And so this kid's got a lot of intestinal fortitude, if you know what I'm saying. He really did. He kicked out a few times, but in the end, the Hood was just too much and too powerful for the Unbroken Son, James Harris. So the Hood wins that via pinfall. The next match was our high flyer, B.S. Tiger and Kylus Miller. And fans, this one was just, it was packed. And I mean to tell you, right off the bell, Kylus Miller was all over B.S. Tiger and was giving him about all Tiger could handle. But then it just takes that one simple mistake, and B.S. Tiger gets him in an armbar, and I did see, right at ringside, Kylus Miller tapped out. Of course, after it was over and B.S. Tiger's hand was raised, Kylus started complaining that he never tapped. But fans, the ref saw it, I saw it, I'm sure the fans saw it. He actually tapped the mat, and it was over. So, B.S. Tiger, I want to talk real quick about this talent. Not to take anything away from Kylus Miller, because boy, I thought he had B.S. Tiger in a lot of trouble. But just it almost looked like B.S. was luring him in, was trapping him in, almost like in a Rocky movie where he was taking the beating just to wait until Kylus Miller made that mistake, and then B.S. Tiger just pounced right on it, to use a pun. But anyway, fans, that is what's happened in that match, and both of these guys, great talents. After that, we had top talent Jordan Rogers versus the phenomenal Franco Varga, and this was an action-packed match, and it just so happened that it was a fairly even matchup to a point where Jordan Rogers leapt over the ring and landed on Franco Varga, rolled him back in, gave him a gut shot kick, and then it was over. Jordan Rogers pinned him. I guess that high-flying maneuver caught Franco Varga off guard, and that's not something that usually happens with Franco Varga. Again, these talents, I can't say enough about Franco Varga. This guy is absolutely entertaining, incredible, wonderful to work with, wonderful in the locker room, and just so kind to everybody. Jordan Rogers, really not an Elkton fan and from the area, but he really performed well that night and gets the victory over Franco Varga. We took a short intermission, fans, and did some adjustments and sold some hot dogs and shook hands and signed autographs and that kind of thing. We come back from intermission, and it is the Russian Dream and Joseph Petrov. I introduced them to the ring. They come out. You guys know how I feel about these bullies. And, well, once again, they bullied me. Joseph Petrov takes the microphone for me, and I have to give it to the ref, who did a great job protecting me and making sure things didn't get out of hand. But I give the microphone to Joseph Petrov, and I get out of the ring waiting till he's finished, giving him the time to do what he needs to do, fans. And then instead of dropping the microphone or handing it back to the referee for me to introduce Nikolai Volkov, he says he's got some unfinished business. And both Joseph Petrov and the Russian Dream come outside the ring and start coming towards me. We heard from the Russian commander right before this match that they would be taking care of me. I'm not a wrestler, fans. All I do is bring you the news and announce in the ring, and these guys are physically they look like they were going to hurt me, and the closer they got, I kept asking for the music for Nikolai Volkov, and finally it hit right as soon as they got up to me. Thank goodness that backed them off a little bit. And then and then, of course, this was an amazing thing. We have WWE Hall of Famer Nikolai Volkov there. This is such an honor and a gentleman to be in the ring with him. And of course, the fans wanted to hear him sing God Bless America. So he starts into a few refrains of God Bless America, and fans, Joseph Petrov and the Russian Dream come up behind him while he is singing, and they start a beat down on him. Totally unfair. Well, I get out of the ring as quick as I can because Nikolai Volkov goes down, and there's really no help that I can provide at that point. So they start getting it on in the ring, and then the bell rings and the match starts. Now, I will say this, they got a good couple licks in on Nikolai Volkov, but this man is no slouch in the ring. He got right back into it, and before you know it, he had both feet of the Russian Dream in his hands, and he had his leg up, and he was ready to give him a stiff kick in the you know what, if you know what I'm saying. And the fans were all about it, of course, and I am watching the action intently, and before you know it, out of my blind spot, Joseph Petrov comes up and he nails me in the side of the head, knocks me to the ground. I was in severe pain. I've never been hit like that by another person in my life. Of course, as a kid, we got into scraps, but it was nothing like this. He hauled off and belted me. And for that, I'm the coward? Well, let me tell you something, Joseph Petrov. You're the coward, friend. You are a coward. And there you have it. And that is my take on that situation. Fans, of course, in the ring, Nikolai Volkov handled the Russian Dream and gets the pin, 1, 2, 3. But then, again, the beat down. And Court Montgomery comes out top speed out of the dressing room because the beat down's going on Nikolai Volkov, and Court Montgomery gets in there, and both him and Nikolai Volkov fend off those pesky Russians, those bullies. So what an exciting match this was. Nikolai Volkov, WWE Hall of Famer, gets the win. After this match, we bring out Corey Bush, the Weight of the World. Fans, if you've not seen this guy, please make sure you do. versus Doug Delicious, who is an awesome talent in the ring, chiseled body, and this was a match made up. It was just so much fun to watch and to be a part of, and both men did all they could. But fans, in the end, Doug Delicious gets the pin, 1, 2, 3, over the weight of the world, Corey Bush. And I know one thing, fans, Corey Bush is not through with Doug Delicious. Then the main event, the big one that everybody's been waiting on, Ace Dalton with his monster, Ivan Ali, versus Rip Sawyer. And fans, this was absolutely all it was billed to be. I was so excited to see this finally take place. Yes, I've had my run-ins with Ace Dalton. Yes, I've had words with Rip Sawyer. Yes, but I called it right down the middle as I saw it, fans, just to bring you the story. And to finally get to see this happen was absolutely incredible. Fans, I want to tell you that Rip Sawyer looked in absolute top condition, and Ivan Ali is a big dude. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but he is something else in that ring. So it happens. The bell rings, and these two go at it, and what do you know? Of course, Ace Dalton getting involved in every aspect of this match, up in the ring, on the ring apron, all the way down to where he takes some kind of powdery substance and is going to toss it in Rip Sawyer's eyes, but Rip moves, and it goes all into Ivan Ali's eyes. So he blinded his own man, and there it started the downfall for these guys until Ivan Ali recovers and they get Rip Sawyer down. Rip Sawyer does get the win over Ivan Ali, 1, 2, 3. And then, fans, after that happened, Ivan Ali rolls out and Ace Dalton is left alone in the ring with Rip Sawyer. Well, Ace is taunted. He looks ready to go. Rip is tired, of course, from his match, but he's no slouch. This guy says, come on, let's bring it on and let's do it. And then before you know it, these two are engaged in their own fisticuff match, and they are beating each other pretty well. Until, of course, the Hood walks down the aisle from the locker room. He comes down, and the next thing I know, fans, I see him toss the chain into the ring. The chain that was used by Ivan Ali or by Ace Dalton on Rip's head, but he tosses that chain into the ring, and Ace gets a hold of it. And then next thing you know, Rip takes a shot, and it puts him down. Well, as Ace Dalton is standing above him, he takes his belt off, and I assume, because Rip Sawyer said how many times he's going to whip Ace Dalton out behind the tool shed or the wood shed, Ace Dalton gets ready to start whipping him, and then the music hits. And fans, you will not believe it, but Blackie Garrison himself comes out of the back and comes to the ring, and holy Moses, stands toe-to-toe with Ace Dalton. Now, fans, Blackie Garrison had his cowboy hat on. Ace Dalton laughed in his face, knocked his hat off, was very disrespectful. But as soon as that hat came off, fans, Blackie Garrison's hand went to Ace Dalton's throat, and the next thing you know, pow, right in the head. Ace Dalton takes a couple shots right to the noggin from Blackie Garrison, and the next thing you know, Rip Sawyer's back up, and everybody is it's a free-for-all. And then Ace Dalton and Ivan Ali and the Hood are retreating, and Rip Sawyer and Blackie Garrison are left in the ring to celebrate. So that's what happened. Blackie Garrison, wow, what a surprise there. And this guy danced in the ring at the end, and the fans just loved it. So what a night of wrestling in Elkton, Virginia. We're going to take just a second right now to show you some highlights from the matches, from picture stills and some video. And so let's go ahead and cut to the tape. Though there you have it, fans. Some pictures and video from Elkton Middle School. We were so happy to be there. An unbelievable time in Elkton, Virginia. And for now, fans, we are going to sign off. We're going to tell you to go do your Christmas shopping at collarandelbowbrand.com. Message us on on our Facebook page if you would like to get a TCW t-shirt. But collarandelbowbrand.com to do your Christmas shopping for your wrestling apparel and use TCW in the checkout code. Fans, we're going to sign off for the holidays, but I already know that there are some exciting things in the works. Some things that are building that started the day after the Elkton event. So now that I'm feeling better and can get back to work, I know WB3 is hard at work starting on the next project to bring you, the Shenandoah Valley wrestling fan, the best in wrestling entertainment. So fans, stay tuned. We will be back after the holidays, somewhere around mid-January. And I will be keeping you up to date on what's happening. We will post a few things from now until then, but TCW Tonight will officially come back towards the middle of January, and we'll let you know with some posts about when exactly that will be. We can't thank you enough for your support, for coming out and buying tickets at Elkton, Virginia, for watching TCW Tonight, for liking our face page. We are humbled and honored that you are a part of the TCW world, and we look forward to seeing you again in 2018. Until then, so long, wrestling fans.